everybody! Today on the show, I'm gonna talk about wearing vibrant colors, which is why I chose to wear this kind of like white person of British ancestry's camouflage. That's another way of saying lace when you're super pale. This week on Ask Kristen, Rachel Rogers wants to know, why is it that women can wear bright colors while men can mostly only wear muted dark colors? Men's pants are by and large navy, black, brown, beige, greige. I just made up a new word. Prints are still a no-no for men. Why, Kristen? Let's hear what you all had to say. Christiane Williams gets a little scientific with it. My best guess would be to get noticed more because bright colors are easier to spot. In the animal kingdom, many birds who have bright feathers are male. They use their feathers to attract female birds. In the human being sense, it's the same, but the gender roles are switched. All-Star Sminty fan Gail Lewis begs to differ. Have you been to the store lately? Some of my coworkers, guys, come in wearing the entire Crayola box. Can I get a heck yeah for the manly pink shirts? Woohoo! Nathan William Lewis says, I think one of the reasons why men don't wear bright colors is because color and the use of color is associated with femininity. Josh Burrows thinks he has it all figured out. Read up on Beau Brummel on Wikipedia, and everything everyone in this thread is speculating on will be answered. Burrows, you do get a gold star for highlighting Beau Brummel as the person at the forefront of something called the Great Masculine Renunciation, which is when men's fashion took a decisive turn for the drab. You have a figure like Beau Brummel come along and say, you know what, I'm still really interested in fashion and looking good, but what I'm interested in is the quality and fit of the garment. His style, though very intentional, was far more masculine in the way that we would think of it today. And it was Brummel and his fashion followers who then led the way into this so-called Great Masculine Renunciation of the late 18th century. Fast forward to the 1920s and 30s, in the interwar period between World War I and World War II. During this time, you have this fringe male dress reform movement where guys were all of a sudden wearing blouses. They were very much into wearing shorts and sandals, and they said, hey, we should be able to have fun with fashion as well. But then of course World War II came along, and then masculine gender norms were re-entrenched and guys were wearing suits again. Color also went out the door as well. Color became associated with acceptable femininity. To quote this handy paper that I was reading earlier today in the journal Gender, Sexuality, and the Interior Decorator, an American decorating manual of the 1930s insisted that color was directly related to women's good health. It made the remarkable claim that the doctors in many big department stores actually urged salesgirls to carry bright colored handkerchiefs and wear cheerful shades in their underclothes. The female craving for emotional color continues unabated, and if ignored, will result in the demise of femininity. TLDR, in about 150 years, color became gender-coded as feminine. By extension, in the 20th century, the use of vibrant color, whether in clothing or in interior design, became coded as well for men as being either effeminate or gay. Considering how colors have been used to gender us, it makes sense that we're only just now breaking out of those kinds of rules. Case in point, the popularity of the pink men's shirt. Still, as Rachel pointed out in her comment, prints in particular are also really hard for men to pull off, unless he's gay, in which case we're like, oh, well, we expected that anyway because like you just dress like Nathan Lane in the Birdcage. We're also putting them in boxes too. It's also been really interesting to see the evolution of women's office wear. When we first entered the workforce en masse, we emulated men's suits. We were wearing those massive shoulder pads in order to be taken seriously. We weren't gonna wear vibrant colors. As we've been gaining more of an equal foothold, there's a lot more leeway into what is acceptable to wear to work. But that perhaps is an Ask Kristen for another time. I want to know from you. Guys, do you feel constrained by the masculine color wheel? Does sexual orientation play into the amount of color you do or don't wear? And also patterns. Thanks to everybody who commented on last week's Ask Kristen video. Should couples sleep in separate beds? A lot of people who said, yeah, honestly, I really prefer to sleep alone, and I'm so glad to know I'm not the only one because I felt like a freak. Kenya Lewis says, I think people should sleep apart. I personally will not sleep in the same bed as my significant other, just as a preference choice. No matter if he doesn't snore, I want space. Meanwhile, Isabel is nervous about sleeping alone. My partner and I live together and sleep in the same bed, and we're going to be long distance after this year as I'm moving to pursue my next degree, and I'm honestly pretty nervous about sleeping alone again. I think it's whatever works for you and your partner. We really shouldn't be in the business of judging the way other people function in their relationships as long as it's not harmful. I second that sentiment, Isabel. Don't forget, if you've got a question, I've got some answers. And a lot of information about the history of interior design, apparently.